Hey guys, what's up? So, I went ahead and I installed this brand new Seymour Duncan JB rails pickup into this Les Paul. And the reason I chose this guitar was because I'd already had the original JB pickup installed in this guitar, and I wanted to see how they compared to each other. So, today I'm going to try to keep it somewhat short and just kind of play some tones through both pickups, A-B them, and then at the end, we'll talk about what you heard, what I heard, and if there are any notable differences, we'll find out. So before we get into the tones, Seymour Duncan went ahead and just released their Rails pickup series. And one of the pickups that they released is a JB Rails. And from a design standpoint, it is basically, from what I can tell, a similar gauge, similar wind count, but they're using the rails instead of the pole pieces. And the biggest change, in my opinion, at least from, a design standpoint, is they replaced the Alnico 5 magnet with an Alnico 8. Now, if you saw the video I did a few months back where I compared the alternative 8 to the standard JB, I kind of made that somewhat apples to apples by thinking, they're similar outputs and they have similar tonal characteristics, but they weren't really the same. In fact, they're not even built the same. This, however, is a much more apples to apples one-to-one comparison, taking the original JB, which I'm going to install in this thing after I get done recording with the Rails pickups, and I'll play similar clean, crunch, boosted, high gain tones through my EVH Stealth here. And I have it mic'd up over there with an SM57, and we'll just kind of get to hear if there's anything drastically different. Now, to keep things consistent, same guitar, same, obviously, pots, potentiometers, whatever. And I'm also going to keep the same strings. So nothing is going to change but the pickup. So let's get to it. Alright, so you just heard the clips back to back. I now got the original JB back in my guitar here. And I have some thoughts. For the most part, they sound pretty spot on to each other with some minor differences that I was hearing, especially more surgically listening into like headphones. For the most part, I think that the original JB has a bit more space, like headroom. Like I know that doesn't quite make sense in the sense of like a pickup per se, but when we look on paper, this thing, at most is like 17 kilo ohms resistance. The Rails pickup is like a little bit over 18 kilo ohms. I think when I measured this one, it's just a hair under 17. One of the things that I'm definitely hearing more audibly is the pick attack on the original JB, whereas on the Rails pickup, it seems a bit more even. I feel like the original JB is just a little bit more forward sounding. And it, and because of that, it sounds a little bit louder in the room. The pickup heights are matched, again, the same strings. All the variables that I can control for are controlled here, and the only thing that's really changing is the pickup. I do kind of like the original JB's texture just a little bit more for some of those higher gain tones. One of the things that I definitely heard was there's a shift in kind of where the mids sit. Now on the Rails pickup, I feel like the mids were more squarely in the middle as opposed to the JB proper, the OG JB. I feel like this thing has a bit more of that upper mid character, and even on the clean tones, it kind of came through with a bit more of a sparkly kind of PAF sound, whereas the Rails definitely a bit more even across the board, and a bigger low end kind of presence going on. And then when you listen to the distorted tones, I feel like the Rail pickup also kind of has a little bit more of that growl kind of grit characteristic, where this seems to be a little bit more harmonically like clean, like you can hear a little bit more of the definition of the notes and a little bit less of the like kind of crispy high kind of fizzy stuff that seems to be coming in through the Rails pickup. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Rails just has a stronger magnet pull. There's a bit more coverage with the Rails being, the pull pieces. And so all the stuff that could come through is coming through. And then with the Alnico 8 magnet, I just think that low end is way more supported through the Rails pickup than the original JB. Now, you guys might have heard something different. I'm always interested to see what other people hear. Granted, this is YouTube. This isn't, we're not listening into a studio. I am. You're not. And so if you can discern anything, go ahead and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about it. What do you like better? In terms of this particular guitar, I'm going to stick with the original JB. I think it just matches better, especially with the 59 in the neck here. This is more of a, traditional, AKA boomer guitar seems to be the word of the day. It seems to do well with the JB the JB original. I think that Rails pickup, I'm going to try to swap into a couple of my baritones and see if maybe the Rails are more geared towards lower tunings. That'll be a later video, but either way, hope you guys got something from this. I'll see you guys later.